Alright, welcome back to another Play and Explain. Yeah, the games are really reggy. We got a 1K going, because you can see it on this fish. 9-6 here, I think I'll defend, even though this table isn't working with erosion, so maybe I'll put it in the corner. Seems a little more appealing. Sorry about the intro. But yeah, I figured I'd post a little bit more. The games were really reggy, so I was like, alright. Let's record. Been studying too much, been hanging out with people, but second session of the day. Don't have my HUD going, but I just realized because I just loaded up stars. But it's probably better for the video anyway. Here, check. I mean, here I like to play overbet for the button. I think here you just have too many. On an 88, I still think I'm gonna fold this. Don't think Jack 10 ever opens. Here I guess I'll check. I don't know. It's close. The thing is, you can just bet river. Like if your opponent doesn't have something, like is he really gonna bluff this card if you check? I don't know. I'm just rather check fold. I think he has a lot of ace-x, like as played as well. Here I think 1/3 high free. Actually I don't know, but I'll do it. But I don't know if it's here with the spade. I blocked like the spade X calling range that might have floated. No, I bet 1/3 on the flop, so not really too relevant. I don't think he floats ace-7 of spades or something for a 3/4 bet. Interesting that he's choosing to raise on this board texture. Probably should just fold. I mean, like he's never bluffing this texture. I don't know how correct this is, but we went for the check this time. Blocking some of the calling range, I guess, with the ace-10 of spades and stuff. Obviously going for value on the river. This is kind of a weirder spot, because if he bluffs, I mean... For example, I'll find a lot of bluffs without the ace of spades here, because it's just a spot that I think is really profitable to bluff. Here I just don't really know what's going on, to be honest, but... I mean, it makes sense to be aggressive. The SPR is not a billion, so it's okay to be aggressive even though you have no nut advantage. But it's just, I don't know, not my style of play. It's like why in a 4-bet pot, like you don't need the absolute nuts. Sometimes, like for example, ace queen on any sideboard is enough to just raise and get in. But there, SRP, like I have 16 ace king, he has 0. I don't really get the check raise 1B 125 there. Like, I don't really get it. It's not really, I don't know. You don't have queens, jacks, or tens. Like, what's the best hand you have? 8-9. I don't know, man. King 9. Just seems like a weird time to polarize. Like, it's like maybe on the river if you want to go like 3x pot or something to polarize to the best hands in your range. But like building a range around the flop, around those types of hands in the turn seems kind of a little strange. But whatever, maybe it's a thing. I just don't really like to be 125. Could have debated jamming my combo, to be honest, actually. But I had just a feeling he had it, because I just don't think he would have taken a natural bluff. Yeah. So probably wouldn't like to bluff that spot too much. Here, I guess versus a guy who's overcalling, I'll bet a third. Even though I think this hand's a pure check, I will bet a third, because I think he's going to be calling too much. And even if he calls this street, I'm going to bluff turn. Because I think he's going to be flatting this 3-bet too much, and so many hands miss on this board texture. Here, I guess I'm going to check sometimes. I should look at the RNG though. 35 would have been fine to check. On the 9 of hearts. Still think I prefer check here. I think like if we want to bet now, we can just bet around the jack 10, 10, 8 type hands. I mean, that's going to be like his main check back calling range, right? It's not going to be around the 5. On an 8, we'll fold this one. We'll use another number, 66, because this could 3-bet sometimes. Definitely going to call here. Could consider raising, but we'll call this time. And we're going to check. He does have a lot of misses. When he bets here, I mean, he's repping a lot of hands. Like, he's repping hearts that picked up a draw. And he's also repping a 9, kind of. The 7's not repped too well, but... Yeah, I'm tempted to call here just because I think... Could be overbluffing the spot. I am pretty capped as played. But I thought this guy just historically has been very nutty versus me, so... He's polarizing to a flush. I'd like to have a heart. I just have a bad feeling. But I'll give in, I'll fold. It's just really easy for him to have more bluffs than value there. And is he really going to give up a hand like 10-8? Is he going to give up a hand like Jack-10? I don't know. Kind of wish I called. But then I'm just overcalling, and then... It's kind of like, what am I doing? This hand mostly wants to call here. I think even on an e4 it's going to call. Could be wrong. I might have the wrong spot, but... He checks. I think like ace-king of clubs and stuff would want to check. I think these, the lower it gets, the more it wants to bet. So we'll bet this one. Good to have some nut flushes. The 9's slowing over to the 8. So, the 9's still pretty clean out. But yeah, this definitely gonna be a little more theoretical judging by these tables. I mean, I do have a read that on some of these guys. They're pretty solid, but it feels like they're not bringing their A game versus me. Yeah. Just not 3-betting this hand too often. Basically ever. Obviously this one's pure. 44 here, still gonna 3-bet it. I'll go to 11 versus 2.1, I guess. Here I don't mind raise or call. I think with double like blocker, this will be the one we want to call more often, but I do not hate raise. He checks, we're gonna bet 75 here. Could get behind 125 to be honest. Actually, maybe I like 125 more. Like this is the bottom of our ace-x range, and then the rest is gonna be 10x. I don't think we want to bet too much ace-x here. Yeah, I don't mind this. A lot of bluffs here still. Kind of block calling range. Could consider check, but I think 125 as the size just makes more sense. Like, I don't know. Do I need to reopen ace-7, ace-6 here? Like, I don't know. So I'd rather just play 125. Can't be that bad. It's gonna be a spot where he's gonna check a lot of really strong hands as well. So yeah, gonna be able to check a lot of ace-x. So it's not like a spot we want to reopen thin. Here we'll use something else. 68. I guess I'll just call. Expecting the B125, but we get a pot. Fair enough. Hands a clear call, obviously. I'm in 18 here. Still gonna call this one. Expecting a big bet here from my opponent as well. I mean, I don't really see how I get away from ace-9 yet, but I could get behind it, honestly. It's almost everything completes, and it feels like the types of hands that don't complete just fire river regardless. With two fish calling, I don't mind flatting this one. It does perform fine multi-way. I could get behind the fold though. Okay, obviously gonna bet a third. I'm gonna lead on this board. I'm tempted to just fold here. But the ace of spades and the 9 of clubs. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look at that one. The spade's obviously like more relevant to like this check back range. Just gonna call here. Question is, what is he bluffing on God's earth now? I mean, king 10 with something. Nice. Okay, so ace king got there. Just gonna give this one up. Could have considered turn, but when the overcard comes, it's just not that good. Was too focused on other hands. This is just never a thing. The bottom's king queen, as far as the offsuits go. Okay, I'm not gonna play him heads up. Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna assume I'm buttoning him if I sit out now. So I'll sit out this hand. I'll keep this here, to be honest. This is closer range check for me. These are the type of hands I like to take pretty often. Just feel like it performs really well. Just 4-betting. I think a lot of people find a lot of 4-bets from the small blind, and then 3-bets from the small. I should have looked at the RNG. I'll probably be more cautious about it. I do like taking those slots pretty often. There's people I think over 3-bet almost from the small blind and under defend versus raise. Damn, the fish said another again at the 1K and I didn't join it. Oops. God, I'm always so behind on this thing. No, there's 3 people waitlisting this thing now. I'm never getting on. Alright, here, what's the size? I guess I'll just go to, I'll go to 23 because we are a little deeper. He probably does a lot of this. Here, I don't mind simplifying a big bet or check. This thing can big bet, sure. I don't mind 1/3 as well. Rolled a really high number. So even if I was playing a mix, that would probably be the B75 turn for that. Mainly prefer to just build checking ranges. I think people are just so used to the B1/3 check again lines when defending. And the second they're presented with an opportunity to be aggressive, they don't know how to capitalize off it. Oh my god, I got on this table. Alright, playing 2 1Ks now. Recording for 12 minutes. Alright, on a 91. Actually, does this hand ever do it? That's probably a 3-bet call. But I pussied out. It's been a common theme in the big blind for me in some of my videos. Here, just gonna call versus the 1/3. You can get behind raising. If he checks now, we're just gonna bluff river no matter what. This is a spot where they can check a lot of hands though, because people don't like to reopen too wide on the flush boards with hands with no clean outs to beat a flush. Alright, easy 1/3 here for us. Just something about the some of these spots. I think that's a clear thing to pay attention to with some of your blockers and relevant. Like yeah, the bluffs I block are the like with the ace-9 hand. Some of these hands, it's like people have certain bluffs, like the 0 equity bluffs, usually fire turn and river. Like a lot of people don't have those 0 equity bluffs that will give up when they when the river bricks, right? Because you're not really supposed to. So I think it's also important to know the type of bluffs your opponent's going to be using. For example, if you have like Jack 6 on like Ace King 10, right? Like you're gonna block Queen Jack, so you're gonna bet. And then when the river bricks out, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna bet again, right? So because you weren't betting Jack 6 to check back river really, right? So it's important to exploit like certain things in your opponent's range, like just the types of buffs they're using, and if they don't have enough bet give ups, then you can start overfolding turns. I'm just gonna use a roll cow. I rolled a high as fuck number, so guess this isn't working with my gyration, so I took this RNG. I think this is a fine 1/3. I think you can build the checking on some of the queen high boards, but I don't mind this one just being a little 1/3. Question here is to polarize or not. I mean, I think it's fine. The issue is if we get shoved on, we do have a lot of equity. kind of sucks actually. We block ace 5 of... He's just gonna have a lot of underpairs in reality, right? I mean, I can get behind the half pot sometimes, but... It just seems like a mistake to check this one. If I get shoved on, I blow up my gut shot equity, who cares? Like, the only hands that's really gonna shove me are ace, queen, and queens. And then, like, the miraculous bluffs. And if he has those hands anyway, like, I was drawing so thin. It's not necessarily a spot where he's gonna start shoving one pair on me. Seems like a pretty good, feels like it always happens, doesn't it? Okay, calls 1/3 on the flop. Like, is he really calling 1/3 with an ace? Ace jack? Yeah, I guess. But I have a lot of ace X as well as played. Here, I'll just put big with burst the fish. I have a lot of ace X myself. He's gonna have the jack nines. But I just have so many other hands myself to call with that it looks like I'm gonna find the fold here. Okay, here I guess we'll call because of all the people behind. Also, my hand's a fine call in general. Check back some flushes. Yikes. I think first big bet here on the flop will just... This guy can have tens and jacks. Jesus fucking Christ, man. This guy's like crazy though, I don't see how I get away from it. I think I'm just gonna die on this hill. If he has two pair or some bullshit. Oh, come on, dude. Feels obvious when they have it. It's a good way to lose 1k. Oh my god! I really thought it was it. This guy's just crazy, I don't think we can fold. Maybe you can make an argument people play different at 1k, but like some of these heads up hands have played... I mean... Yeah, I don't know. Just unfortunate. I would advise versus an average fish to fold, but the purple tag is usually like a very big fish. I kind of frustrated myself though, I feel like there's better spots. I don't know, maybe I'm just being hard. I think this hand, for example. I feel like I have bigger hands too. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so here it checks in all the way. Out of the big blind. I'm just gonna bet here. We blocked the river calling range though, so this is a fine hand to check again, to be honest. As we blocked the 10. Alright, whatever. The issue with this spot is I don't know if it really makes money. As like, people just don't really expect you to have a hand here. Like, I don't know. I just have so many more hands than he does. So should he really open up the river? Yeah, he just had a good jack, so that makes sense to call this hand. I'll fold here on the 22. I mean, it's just because like I'm checking a lot on the jack on the turn, right? As the jack's like better for his check back range. So on the river, like when he commits to checking twice, how many like king queens is he gonna have? How much of all this stuff is he gonna have? I should go to 11 here versus 2. Also versus the recreational, just sizing down, lowering the variance makes more sense. Kind of frustrated with myself for that hand though. Like there's definitely just better spots, and I should just fold. Like if I had like jacks, I can get behind it because you can be punting with more cards. Really thought the river I had it though. This freaking thing was an 8. And it was diamonds too. So. Yeah, I don't know. Feels punty. I kind of maybe confused him also with another fish who was really punty yesterday. I thought he was a different one. Obviously he's still pretty punty. Like hands like this. But I mean this hand's not the worst hand ever actually. Gonna be a range check here for me. Would my hand perform better as a bet versus the fish? Possibly, but whatever. And I'll fold here. Yeah, kind of regret it, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm not gonna just reg battle if I have 6 tables already. I mean, it would be nice if this other table worked with erosion, but on a 54, we'll call, I guess. I'm playing mostly like half water check on this type of texture. This should be good enough. I don't think he has enough jacks checking twice in his range. Like, I mean, this is basically one of the best hands between the two of us. And river's obviously a snap check back here for me. Hope it's good. Solid. I mean, yeah. I'm definitely gonna be doing a lot of review of my current sessions. A little upset about the 9th hand. It's one of those spots where like when they just table over a set, because like obviously they're repping a very nutty hand, but then they see this table like, I don't know, ace 8 and you're like, oh thank god. Some fish just clearly aren't doing that though, and if you're just assuming most fish are like that, you're probably playing pretty bad. At least the fish I've been my friends talked to me about with this, like, what is it, MDA? On a 98, I think you can get behind clicking this thing. But I'll just call here. I think the big blind is a little too under bluffs for me. I'm just gonna shove that on a little too often when I 4-bet. Especially when I don't have good blockers. I guess I'll fold here. I was debating raising river, but it's like, it's a limp pot. Like, it's also versus recreational. So Ricky Bobby got cooked. If he leaves, I will be leaving because I do not feel like reg battling the 1K. Also, I don't feel like getting buttoned. That's like, that happened last time. Everyone just left. So. This is kind of annoying. Yeah, I do believe the game's gonna break, so I'll leave next blind, so I don't get caught with my dick in my hands. Still have another 1K going. A lot of these guys don't reg battle. This guy, I think, will. Outside of everyone else, I just don't see them reg battling too often. So I played. I guess I fold here. I wasn't paying enough attention, but my hand just doesn't need to be a call, I imagine. 97. I still think we don't really with eights. I mean, a little deeper, you can justify it. Here, I don't really have a read on this guy, but it should be a 4-bet call off, so we're gonna do that. Sick. Can we get 3 aces on the flop, please? That's 1. Oh. Very fortunate. I'm gonna take a note of that, just to make sure that I know this guy plays poker pre-flop. Rebet, JJ, small blind, V. I should probably just put 5-bet shoves, but whatever. I'll just call here, whatever. Worst river. Maybe second worst, 5 of spades, probably a little worse. When he checks though, I don't expect another 5 or a flush, so I'm gonna go for some thin value, in case he just has an ace. 3-bet, JJ, small blind V, cut off, 5-bet shoves. I'm not writing down a mistake per se, but it's just good to know that next time you're in a spot that your opponent is playing pre-flop. Who knows, maybe he's a little bit aggressive. As JJ sometimes does have to call. So if I keep noticing a trend. Here you can actually justify calling the stack depth. I'm going to do it. Just to be a little tricky in the fact that I know this. I think it's a 52, it's like close, I think it's a mixing probably. Versus a big blind 3-bet. Obviously I can't picture it right now where I'm folding. I was like thinking like ace of hearts would be pretty annoying, but it's a card he should be checking a shit ton on. So what if he has aces and I have kings? We're one card away from hitting the Bappy jackpot. Clear half pot here, I think. Actually, yeah, I think it's a pretty common half pot for me. If he shoves, it's just unfortunate. I mean, he's not supposed to have too many flushes here, so he should resort to just calling the flushes he does have. I just don't think like he has enough. What? He can take queen 9 of hearts. Queen jack of hearts actually does 3-bet. Queen 10 of hearts does 3-bet actually. For spot in, they will do it last. Oh. Was hoping for it to pair, it did not. Shoving I think is too polar. Checking is too nitty. So we definitely need to build a size around stuff like ace queen, or just mainly sets. Just gonna B50 this bet, or B75, sorry, but bet 50 bigs. If he rips, I mean, like, is he bluffing ever here? I imagine this would be my reopened fold range. I mean, the issue with that spot is you have bluffs also. I don't know why I checked here. It's fine. How do you have a flush here? I mean, it's just so sad. I think I just have to call. I mean, he can take. Is he calling queens with the heart on the turn? I mean, he could just be doing this with aces for value, right? But like, no, he wouldn't. He bluffs a little because he could take on like king queen of hearts. The issue is he just expecting me to fold the flush? I don't think so. God. I think we're just getting too good of a price, so... Holy fuck. That just shows to show why you can't be such a nit. Holy fuck, you almost got me. Wait, I led into this. I made a mistake. I was so nervous about this table. I was so... that was an absolute toss-up for me. But... Good bluff by him, hands off to him. I don't like his call on the turn, I think, though. I mean, honestly, as played, do we just go with it? Because I don't like check call. I don't... The issue is, though, like, the hands he's calling, like, unless he has exactly queens, like, what is he folding? Ah, whatever. I punted. I might just check fold. Ah, but we can't, though. Yeah, we should have shoved as a bluff. That's the most profitable line. It's one of those where you're starting to make a mistake and you just don't feel like going with it. This is just an all-around disaster. I was so nervous about this spot. That's my bad. That's the downside of playing differences and stakes. Like, normally I would not care. And here's an overbet and I missed it too. On turn as played. I don't mind just betting again, but kind of dicey. Prefer half pot though. In position, you're always gonna have a betting range. He checks back. Low-key, on this river, it's an okay bluff, but I think I'm just gonna check and give it up. I kind of wish I shoved turn. If he checks back queens here, I might be... wasn't I gonna leave this table? I forgot. I was. Who knows, maybe my opponent has queen 10 and he's just ill. Yeah, so if we had shoved, he would have folded. Very, very unfortunate. mistake by me. That's the downside of disrespecting your opponent and just assuming they're not 4-betting. 4-bet ace call. I hit a button. Yeah, apologize for some of the decently poor play. The reason why, like, I don't know, the shove that he had earlier, it was like, would anyone really bluff that spot? But then I know the guy can bluff, so I just decided to call. I'd be lying here if I said I called because I thought I was good. I called literally because I think my hand's too strong. And the fact that I'm gonna be bluffing that river a lot. How do I say this? You need to call like so often when they shove on the river there. Obviously you can call a little less often, I think, but you're just getting such a good price. And the reality is you're just not going to be as good as often because his bluff is also less profitable a little. But wait. I don't know. Here I kind of just zoned out and called. I don't know if I like it for set player, but I didn't. Ace of diamonds. I'm trying to talk, and playing 6 tables is a little hard, so bear with me while taking notes. How long have I been recording? 31. Okay. I'll record for a little longer. Okay, on the turn, Jack after B33. There's just a lot of bluffs possible now in the spot, so I don't mind overbetting versus this guy. He's not the type of guy who is going to bluff too often, I think, so I don't mind trying to get the EV from him calling. If he was a superior player, I also could get behind the check, as he's not going to have too many calls there in general. But, yeah, that's just one of the exploits. Yeah, I could just 1/3 with range here also on this flip. As played now, I'm going to check. Caught off first. What was I? Small blind? I had to open small blind. On an 84 here, we will take it. And here I'm going to build a flop because of the fish in the big blind. 727. Shout out to the OSU people. If you know, you know. I thought I was a big OSU player, but here as played, I mean, I can get behind B33. A lot of times you want to polarize on the button, but this is a spot where we can just bet a lot of stuff. We want to be able to, he's going to have a lot of hands that are behind the majority of our range that he's still going to have to continue versus that price, and just puts him in a tougher spot. And I think we're going to protect that with our nuttier hands. Like, for example, we're going to have a lot of pairs. He's not going to have as many. He has the more nutty hands, but when he checks, he kind of has to polarize to get us off majority of our range. So, is anyone just tripling off there and hoping we fold pocket pairs? I mean, would it be profitable in general? Probably, because I'd say the spot's overfolded given compared to how much 7x people have. But is that in reality what's happening? No. So this guy's a huge stack. Maybe I will record a part 2 to this video. Yeah, sorry about some of the mistakes in the middle of the hand. Then normally that doesn't happen. That's just a recording error for me, as that's like one extra element on top of playing the game normally. But I will be doing a review, and if you want clarification on the hands I'm talking about that I made mistakes on, just let me know in the comments. Yeah. And also, just you're free to point out other mistakes. I definitely do, especially when 6 tabling. I definitely do just autopilot make some errors, especially on the flop. I think recently it's been pretty annoying for me. But yeah. And some pre, especially in the big, it's really hard to be on top of it all the time, because if you're not paying attention to the number you rolled, almost like half the hands you're calling with do 3-bet sometimes. I usually like to simplify it by I'm trying to remember here. I'll go to 13, 13.5 versus 2.3 on my charts I play. And yeah, here we're gonna 3-bet aces. God, I'm so funny. But yeah, that's a tough one to stay on top of. Here we can It's kind of throwing me off that I don't have an RNG here, freaking Jirogen. But it's the majority of the time. The king not being a heart is a little annoying, as that's gonna be like mainly his heart. I mean, he's gonna call in almost all his jack of hearts too. He's gonna have more king of hearts though. So yeah, we'll call this time, and I will take the leading opportunity on the jack here. I didn't roll. I'm just going to do it. I just like think people play not too good versus it. So. And that's for the hand versus Connor. I don't know how much I like the line fully. The reason why, once he calls there, I was just in disbelief that it wasn't good, and I know Queen Jack and Queen 10 are 3-bets. But the reason why I was kind of just in disbelief is it's just, there's really not too many combos of hands that Flushes he has. He has the connectors. But it's also really hard to find bluffs, so it kind of equals out. So here what happened was I called his 4x open, and then he clicked this. I mean, we're supposed to call, so I guess we do. This card's just way better for us, so I'm gonna lead again into him. We have all these like jack eights, 9-7 of spades, and like 10-7 and all this bullshit that he's not raising. I mean, he might raise jack 8, but yeah, the 7 is just gonna hit our range a lot. He finds the shove. Now he's really polar. This guy's just a nit, but like, I'm tempted to call here, because is he really shoving an overpair? I also block the overpairs. I want a 58 here. Like, unless he has 9s, he has deuces as played. Something about it just makes me want to call, so I'm going to. Oh, he has deuces. Mistake by me. I always know that this guy's a nit, and then I just fucking call him anyway. It's so fucking frustrating. The reason I leveled myself in my head was I was thinking that he wouldn't ISO with deuces to 4x pre-flop. And I thought that, yeah, that's why I leveled myself. But I should just know he has no bluffs there. My bad. That's the issue with leading. Sometimes you throw yourself off, but it's just easy to be taking a lot of bluffs there. But I should just know better. It's 2 times in this video. That one I'm more mad about myself than the other one. I mean, I've never seen that guy table a river bluff in my life, so. I know he's like a content creator and a coach and something, but the way he plays is a little different than the way he talks. The issue with this spot is I just don't think the reopens here are really bluffs too often. Like, the bet check bet line is just such a centered around made hands that I think I'm just gonna muck again. No, I've been liking the way I've been playing towards the end of this video, not gonna lie. I'm really mad at myself over this fucking stupid zone out. I was just kind of caught off guard because I would never have king 10 of clubs here and not 3-bet. The only reason I didn't is because he ISO'd to 4x and it was just a weird hand. So I messed up on the flop. But then once he finds this raise, I'm just thinking he might have a hand like queen jack of spades, king jack of spades really often. And obviously, or like an overpair very often, right? And so he's ripping like 9s, deuces, and overpair, right? And maybe like one combo of 10s. And then on the turn when we lead and he rips, I just don't think he's ever doing this with an overpair. So he's basically has to have the hand he had. But I was thinking like he can actually take a good amount of bluffs here, so. We looked him up and he had the classic nit hand. It's just so funny, like it's night and day. Like his other coach teammate has like fucking pocket 10s in the most like insane spot ever. And then this guy's just never tabled a river bluff in his life versus me, so. I mean, I'm sure if he watches this video, he might be motivated too. I'm not mad. I think he's a solid player. I mean, he definitely does bluff, but it just seems like in the big spots, like he's not getting as creative as he. Like, to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. If there's dumbasses like me who want to call him with king 10 of clubs, it's kind of fine. I'd fold there 100 times out of 100 if not for the way the hand played out. It was just a weirder line. Okay, here, I'm just gonna bet 4 bigs. And hope my opponent kind of connected a little. I guess we'll just bet a third. I was debating between check and bet. Yeah, I could get behind check as well. The issue is it's just if he has a pocket pair under kings and queens, is he really gonna? Is he A gonna bluff? No. Is he gonna put in any more money in the pot? No. So I'd rather let him just call turn a little later. Kind of disappointed in myself though for the call. Like I'm calling off such an insanely strong bet, and we do have like decently strong hands in our range there. So like, why call that one? Like, do we like? Cause that's a bluff catcher at best, and why would we bluff catch a guy who's just like we're the ones making the exploit, which makes us get exploited. Like I can sit all day here and talk about that this guy's a nit, but at the end of the day, my read was he could have been over bluffing because of how little value he was repping, and he just had that small portion of value he was repping. I'm calling him a nit for it, but I mean, if he was bluffing everything there, like if he's taking all the queen jacks and fucking king jacks and all these flush draws and he was ripping them, then he would be over bluffing. At the end of the day, he's playing fine probably. I don't know if I really like the just rip though. I mean, the deuces does want to go in that range, so it makes sense, I guess, on a double draw board. Gonna check range here. When your opponent can have two sets, generally it's a pretty good idea to check range. Especially with queens, just usually wants to be the best check on a king high board. Anyway. Anyway, gonna be wrapping up this video here in a sec. Not too proud of the way I played in this video, but you know what, shows some humility. Versus the 1/3 here, I just don't think he ever has a king. So what I'm gonna do versus this fish here is I'm gonna call, and then I'm going to bet half pot on the river and get called by nines. I don't want to raise because I think it seems too strong versus the fish, but I'm going to call and lead. And if he raises here, I just think he has it, and he was probably trying to induce me on the turn, but... Alright guys, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.